Hello, I'm Melissa Laing. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's lesson is about breathing. Most of us tend to not realize the true capacity of our breathing potential. So what happens in our day-to-day life is that a good majority of us tend to breathe only a shallow breath. So when we're not breathing properly, we send a message to our bodies that we're in a state of fight or flight, which creates a sense of anxiety or stress within our body. So to help us better understand these concepts, I'd like to introduce you to Boris. So this is Boris. And what I want you to understand is that our accessory breathing muscles, which are not our primary breathing muscles, our primary breathing muscles are our intercostals and our diaphragm, are the muscles that attach to the neck down onto the rib cage. So that consists of our scalenes and our upper trapeze, our levator scapula, all those types of muscles. Now, if we're not breathing well and we're only taking small, shallow breaths, what that does is it tells the body that there's a problem. So it recruits the accessory breathing muscles, which means that over the course of a day, if you're quite stressed and you're not breathing well because you've got lots of things to do, deadlines to meet, you'll be heaving and relaxing your shoulders all day. So it's no wonder that people get headaches, feel tension up in their shoulders, and over a long period of day can actually get lower back pain from this. So the reason that this happens too is that when we sit all day, there's another muscle that comes from T12 and inserts to all the vertebrae at the front and down into the leg. This is called your iliopsoas, and it's generally when we sit all day, this muscle is in a state of contraction. At the same time, if we're not breathing terribly well and we start recruiting our upper trapeze, these two muscles both attach at T12, and so one will pull upwards and the other will pull downwards, thus compressing our spine and over a period of time giving us generally a lower back problem. So what we want to do when you come to a Pilates class is we want to teach you how to use your primary breathing muscles and increase your breathing capacity. And they say that longevity is linked to better breathing capacity. So what you need to understand is that your body has the capacity to take in about 2 litres of air if it wanted to in one breath. Now naturally on a day-to-day basis you're not going to be doing this, but we do want to shift you from teaspoons to cups at least. So when you come to a Pilates class, the first thing your teacher is going to teach you to do is to learn to breathe into your abdominals. When you breathe into your abdominals, what that helps you to do is it helps to relax the diaphragm, which sits underneath the rib cage here. And I'll just turn Boris around so you can see. So it sits under here. If you'll notice, this T12 area is quite a pivotal point for a lot of different muscles. So your upper trapeze is attached into T12, and so is your psoas, as I said before. When you breathe through your diaphragm or breathe through your belly, you allow your diaphragm to relax. When your diaphragm relaxes, it also allows your iliopsoas to relax. And when you start breathing more deeply, you don't need to recruit your upper trapeze so much to lift your rib cage up and down, and so that relaxes. When these muscles aren't pulling in the 2 different diagonals, it allows your spine to elongate. So already, just by breathing better, you can take a lot of stress off your lower back. And you'll also change the state of your mind too, because you'll take yourself out of that flight or fight mode and be able to relax a lot more. So what I'd like you to try now is just sit quietly and comfortably with yourself. Place your hands on your abdominals, and then using visualization, because we use visualization a lot in Pilates, I want you to think that you've got a red helium balloon in your abdominals. So as you breathe in, allow it to inflate and really take the breath right down deep into your stomach and really expand it. And then as you exhale, allow that balloon to just collapse back down and really wring all the air out of the balloon. What you'll notice is that your abdominals start to contract because they are secondary breathing expiration muscles, so they help to get the air out. So really learn to listen to your breath and learn to really let the breath continue right out, almost like you want your breath to travel right across to the other side of the room. So just do that a couple of times and get really comfortable, trying not to breathe through your shoulders, and just see how that makes you feel once you start to breathe in at least 3 or 4 cups worth of air. The second thing you want to notice is that when you breathe, you'd really like to breathe into the back of your body and not so much into the chest. So the sound of your breath will actually change. Instead of it being very light and airy, it will sound more earthy. So I tend to describe the breath as the difference between a white wine breath and a red wine breath. The red wine breath will make you feel more relaxed and more at home with yourself. So the second thing I want to talk to you about is, with that breathing, instead of breathing into the front of the body, which most of us do, which is to heave up the chest, you want to think of your rib cage like an accordion, and you want to allow the breath to expand outwards to the side. When we do that, we allow the vertebra in the upper thoracic to open. The facet joints get to open as the intercostals open. Allowing that sort of movement through this area is really important, because as we get older, this area gets more and more stiff, and we tend to then become really reliant on the lumbar spine to do all the work. And then what we notice is in our 30s and in our 40s, we start to get back problems. So if we can keep this area supple for longer, this area will be placed under less demand. Because what tends to happen is, when we go from not being able to move in one area and put more stress on another area, we'll then do an injury like a disc bulge or a facet joint strain. Then this area will stiffen up, and then there'll be a problem in this area, and then so on. If the thoracic vertebra isn't working terribly well and the intercostals aren't sliding around each other, then the shoulder gets put under stress as well. So you can't... The job, I guess, for us is to maintain joint integrity for as long as possible. So when you breathe, think of the rib cage like an accordion and breathe outwards fully, hearing the breath travel down the back of your throat and into the roof of your mouth, down the back of your throat. Feel it get right down into your lumbar spine, and then breathe forwards into your abdominals and allow your abdominals to really expand. As you exhale, allow all of that just to relax out of your body, but really feel like you're trying to get all the air out of your body, and notice how your abdominals will kick in.